his left. Trouble again for West Bromwich Albion. David Silva, beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Logic, but it could be worse here still. It's Silva and it's 5-5.
Silva invited to shoot almost. He will now, won't he? Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Solo goal, David Silva.
David, you were made captain today. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, of course. I have enjoyed the 10 year, and this one was the last one on the Premier League. But now we have to be focused on the Champions League as well.
You got an emotional send-off from your teammates and even the coaching staff at the end. Was that quite emotional for you personally?
Yeah, emotional because I've been working with them 10 years, no? And I love all of them. So we have a good relationship. I wanna miss all of them.
Are you proud of your Premier League career and what you've achieved?
Yeah, of course. I'm very proud. I couldn't imagine when I come here, no, to win so many titles and the way we won it.
And are there so many moments that stay with you as well?
Yeah, a lot. I'm a lucky guy. I have had a lot of nice moments, and this one as well, the last one.
What will you miss about it here?
Everything, even the weather as well.
There must be more to it than that, though, just the weather. You must miss, there's so much that you've achieved here. There's so much that the fans have taken to your heart as well.
Yeah, I want to miss, everything. To work every day with these people, these amazing people. The workers of the club, they have done my life much easier.
Did you expect that it would be 10 years when it all began?
No. I didn't expect this, but, like I said, because of the people, the way they treat me and my family, I've been here so long.
And as you mentioned earlier as well, a bit more to aim for this season to finish on a real high.
Yeah, I hope we can win the Champions League. This is a pity because we cannot, play with the people, but the safety of the people is the most important thing now.
Well done on a great career here.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to get the views of the Super Six on David Silva, so we're going to come round all of you in due course. He changed the way we thought that a player could operate in what was traditionally such a hustle and bustle, powerful kind of area of a Premier League match.
Yeah, I mean, he survived for 10 years. I think probably City's first world-class player in my lifetime. And when they first come, the likes of him and Aguero, particularly him and Aguero from Spain to Manchester, I thought, these two, the last 2 or 3 years, you could see the talent. They're absolutely amazing players, but I didn't think they'd commit to the City like they have done. And so well done to him. I wouldn't know, I've been around the City a lot, I wouldn't know where him and Aguero have been for the last 10 years. They're absolute professionals. What they've achieved on the pitch is absolutely outstanding. They've immersed themselves, obviously, in Manchester. And like I say, I think it was the first world-class player that I saw at Manchester City. I think in terms of how he's played in the last few years, probably 3 seasons ago, that first Pep Guardiola title, when it was him and Kevin De Bruyne in front of Fernandinho, we knew he could play. I didn't know those two could defend. The work ethic that season, if anybody wants to go back and watch what would be outstanding world-class players in midfield that wouldn't ordinarily be classed as central midfield players, playing in that role and doing both sides of the game equally well, it was that season. It was absolutely amazing and took, I think, my thinking to a different level. What Pep Guardiola achieved with the likes of Sterling, Aguero, Sané on the left, him, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, a team of what would be players that you could never think could win a Premier League title. We always thought a Premier League title winning team had to have strength and power and pace. This team didn't. It had obviously a centre-back in Vincent Kompany that had it, but the rest of them really were sort of technical players, and David Silva was at the heart of that.
Jamie Carragher, how important has David Silva been to the Manchester City story?
He's been huge. I always look at 3 or 4 players, I think, not necessarily in the team now, but I go back to Aguero signing, Yaya Toure, Vincent Kompany and David Silva. Possibly, the era of Mancini, when Manchester City were really starting. I just think a lot of it was built around those 4 players. But the difference was with those 4 players is we've seen a Vincent Kompany type of player at most clubs, certainly the top clubs, a big top centre-back, a great goal scorer at one end, someone in midfield who powers forward and gets goals like Yaya Toure at other clubs. I think the special thing with David Silva is it was almost like we'd not really seen anyone like that in our game before. And I go back to what Graham was mentioning before when he mentioned Xavi and Iniesta. We marvel at those players, but we don't often see them in the Premier League. We always feel maybe they're not suited to the Premier League. And he was different. That's what made him so special. We've seen lots of great foreign players come here before as well. But I just can't think of too many, if any, like him. And I made a comment a few weeks ago when I was commentating on Man City. When you watch David Silva play, he might lose the ball very, very rarely, but he never gets tackled. And I made the comment, it was almost like trying to tackle dust. That's what it's like. You never see him lose the ball, or anyone can get a strong challenge him because of his body positions, how he protects the ball, and he's just a special footballer. And you know, you have to say, I think it's almost impossible to replace him. We hope Foden can eventually come that type of player. We've all got fingers crossed with our England hats on, but it's going to be a huge void to fill for Man City, because as I said, he's just not one of the greats for Man City, but one of the greatest we've ever seen in the Premier League.
How much have you enjoyed watching him?
He's amazing, beautiful footballer. He's always got time on the ball. I also love when you watch him play live, the way that he dictates the play, the way he moves people into position. That's what great midfield players do in tight areas. When he first signed from Valencia, there was obviously question marks. Could he handle the pressure and the intensity of the Premier League? He's handled it in an abundance. He's been amazing. I think when you look at some of the great midfield players we've had, perhaps the fact that he hasn't done many interviews, even to hear him speak. I've hardly, in 10 years that he's been here, he's probably not even done 10 interviews. We don't know a great deal about him. He's so unassuming. He's just got on with his football. He's always done his football on the pitch.
77 goals in all competitions, 122 assists. I don't think we've ever given such effusive praise from everyone to a Manchester City player, Roy. But what would you add to what you've heard?
I think he's probably overrated. No, you know, I always think of the players over the last 10 or 20 years who've played in the Premiership, the top players, the Shearers, Henrys, Gerrards, Giggs. He's up there with all them boys. Absolutely fantastic. It's just a pity when you think of him today leaving on an empty stadium. You know, the City fans would have loved to give him a good send-off, and I'm sure he'll come back and get one. But little genius. And I look at players who've played over the last 10 years, and I always think when I retired, players I would have loved to have played against. But he's one I'm glad I never was around to play against, because I know he would have twisted me inside out. An absolute little genius.
Yeah, and City have said they will welcome him back with open arms. And I've saved you to last, Micah, because it's your teammate, your ex-teammate, and also friend. What would you tell us about David Silva, the person?
Well, I'm a bit emotional, to be honest, to see him leave the way, especially with no fans there. I'm sure I'll get a testimonial at some stage. But why I like him the most is because he's a superstar, whether he likes it or not. But he doesn't act like a superstar. He's the most humble person you'll ever meet. And other stories about, he rented my house for a couple of years, and he really looked after it, always made sure the rent was paid on time, always, like, if any work needed doing, he'd always do it. And for me, the person matched with on the field as well is just absolute superstar, and he deserves absolutely everything. One of the best players ever to grace the Premier League, and he fully deserves everything in his life.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit